Hello, welcome. This is Stitching with Charlie. I'm Charlie. My pronouns are she and her. And welcome to Flosstube number 2. Firstly, a big thank you to everyone who watched my Flosstube number 1, that commented and subscribed and liked. I'm really, truly grateful of all your support, and I'm having a lot of fun being here. Today I'm coming to you a little bit earlier than I had planned because I have a full finish that I need to pop in the post, and I wanted to show it to you before it went on its way to its new home. It's nothing like a birthday to get you motivated to kind of get something finished. So today we have some new starts, we have a couple of finishes, small pieces, and lots of progress on my Kingfisher piece, which is kind of my main focus at the moment. So yeah, we'll dive right in. Before we look at the stitching, I just wanted to talk a little bit about some of the communities that I've been really enjoying around cross-stitching that I found in the last couple of months. So firstly, obviously a huge thank you to the Flosstube community, everybody that watches and everybody that posts their own content. I've been hugely inspired by everybody's work, and I've learned a huge amount over the last couple of months as well. If you are also a Flosstuber, please do pop your channel down in the comments. Feel free to do some self-promotion. I can only watch the people that YouTube sends me in the algorithm, but I would really love to get to know some new faces and watch other people as well. So yeah, please do pop that in the comments. One group that I don't hear many people talk about on Flosstube is Reddit. So Reddit has a group called CrossStitching, and I'll link all of these below if you're interested. This has been a really valuable resource for me. I've absolutely loved being part of the group. I joined back in January when I started stitching, and people have been so supportive. You know, you can post a question in there as a newbie who not really know what you're doing, and someone will answer within 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And so, just having people experienced to give you some pointers is really great. People post their finished works and their whips, and the variety of projects that people are working on is really, really big. I would say it probably skews a little bit less traditional than a lot of what people are stitching on Flosstube. So quite a lot of modern designs, quirky designs, fun things. There's a few not suitable for work things and a few sweary stitches as well, but they are marked so that you don't, automatically see them. But overall, really fun, really great community, and I'd encourage you, if you are on Reddit, or if you want to download the app and have a look, it's a really great community. I posted my dandelion stitch when it was finished, and I was absolutely blown away. I had over 1,700 likes and lots of people commenting on it. It absolutely blew me away, and the community over there were really, really supportive. I think that, as I said, social media is very much the whims of the algorithm gods. So if you ever post something online, whether that's Flosstube or Instagram or any other community, and it doesn't get a massive response, please don't be disheartened. The algorithms work in their own special, strange way, and it doesn't mean that your work wasn't beautiful. It just means that it didn't get put in front of people to see it. I think my dandelion piece had a big response for 2 reasons. One, I was really active in that Reddit group. I was liking and commenting probably most days. So I was quite an active user, and therefore I think it probably pushed my thing higher. And then also I did tell them that it was my first proper finish, and therefore everybody wants to congratulate you on your kind of new first finish. So I think that's probably why my piece went a little bit, was pushed out into everybody's feeds, and I don't expect it to ever happen again. So certainly I'd recommend checking out Reddit if it's not something that you've looked at before. I've also been getting involved in some of the Facebook groups. So some of the Flosstubers also have Facebook and challenge groups that go alongside them. I've been really enjoying, joining them and checking them out. All of these will be linked below, so you can find them if you're also interested and not already a member. So one of my favourite Flosstubers is Laura from Stitching by the Shore. I absolutely adore her Friday uploads. She has such a lovely, calming and wonderful presence. So I always watch them over the weekend when I'm doing some of my stitching. She has a group and she does a monthly I Spy challenge. So she'll list 10 prompts and then you stitch on something that goes with the prompt. One of the reasons I really like this is it's very laid back. Laura doesn't really have any rules. She says, do it in the way that works for you. And I really like that. It feels very accessible. You don't have to do all 10. It's just a fun thing to be involved in. Some of the other ones that I've been joining, there's a group called Divas Down Under. They are an Australian-based group, and in 2025 they're doing the menagerie of old and new, so lots of different animals in each month, and then they'll link a challenge to an animal. So in February it was like dinosaurs, and so I think that's a really fun concept. Those ones do have like quite high stitch count numbers, but they also do a 2 weekly a 2 weekly challenge as well with lower stitch counts. So I've been really enjoying that. And then the other one is, lots of people I'm sure will already be aware of it, is Whip Go. Whip Go is basically you make yourself a bingo board, and at the start of the year, and then they call 2 numbers every month, and you look at what you've put on your bingo board and stitch on it. You can do anything you want. It doesn't have to be specific projects. It can be themes or a new starts or things like that. So I think that's a fantastic idea. I'm a little bit late to the party. We are in March, coming up for April, but I think I might make myself a bingo board for the start of May. So at the start of May, I can do a 4x4 grid, which will get me the last 16 numbers to be called between May and December, and then I can kind of join in with my smaller board. And when we get to January, I can go back to having a bigger 5x5 board. If you're interested in the challenges, there's a YouTube channel called Shady Trees Stitches. Again, I will link everybody below, and they do like a monthly roundup of all the challenges that they're aware of, and they go through and think about what projects they're going to stitch on for them, and they give you some ideas. I think that's really lovely. I've really enjoyed watching their monthly sort of roundups of what all the different groups are doing and what you can get involved in. So let's dive into the stitching. First of all, a little bit of haul. We'll do haul quickly first, because actually most of what I bought I'm already stitching on. I have got a new start this month or this week, a proper new start, and so I bought all the flosses for those. And I also picked up some kind of off-cut material from my local craft shop. So 2 of them I've already started stitching on, but I also got this blue linen, which I'm planning on doing a Halloween stitch on. And I also picked up another green even weave, which matches the turtle that I showed you last week. So I'm doing the Blackwork Turtle. And I picked this up because the Blackwork Turtle is on an offcut, and there are 4 in that series. And I thought if I want to do another one, then maybe I should pick up another cheap bit of the same piece of material offcut, just so I've got it as an option. My local craft shop sells them. This one was 64p. They are incredibly cheap because they're selling off the offcuts. I was also looking for kind of banded Ada. I'm thinking about making some bookmarks. I couldn't find any banded Ada. They did have a little bit, but not really the colours I was looking for. But I picked up this, which is kind of from the ribbon section. Now the holes are quite big, so we shall see. I only got a little bit of it. It was very cheap. So I might try and stitch on it and see if we can make some kind of bookmark out of it. But we will kind of see how that one goes. I also, the way I organise my my flosses, instead of the kind of rings that you can buy from various kind of stitching places, I have my floss drops on non-climbing carabiners. I use these because they're cheap. So this week I also picked up another set of 4. So I get from one of my just local shops that sells a little bit of everything. I have you can get a pack of 4 of different sizes for £2. So they're 50p each, cheaper than the kind of ones I've seen online. And then I use them to organise my floss drops. And if you look carefully, yes, this is cardboard, and they are also made out of toilet rolls. So I was very excited this week. I got myself 5 more toilet rolls because I was struggling to collect enough toilet rolls to make my floss drops. I'm getting, as a new stitcher, I every pattern almost need to buy every single thread, and I didn't have enough cardboard to organise them all. I have some friends and family collecting toilet rolls for me, but I actually found these in, everyone's got an odds and sods drawer, right, with batteries and wires and chargers and various things. I was looking for something else in there, and realised that Past Charlie had saved a load of toilet rolls, probably for some previous crafting thing that I just don't remember anymore. Anyway, I was very happy when I found those, so the rest of the threads for this project can now get organised, which is great. Okay, let's dive into the stitching. I think that's been a long enough kind of preamble. So what have I been stitching on this week? I have some birthdays and things coming up in the next little while that I wanted to make a few little cards for. I feel like I might be going through the new stitchers rites of passage in that I have made magnets. If you'd like to see my magnet collection, please check out Flosstube 1. And now that I'm making lots of magnets, now I have to make greetings cards. So I feel like this is what every new stitcher does. But you know, I'm stitching what I'm finding fun, so we're going with it. I found this pattern which I really liked. It's called Heralds of Spring by Amanda Butler, and it's from the World of Cross-Stitching Feb 24 issue. And the letters I wanted to stitch the first letter of people's names. So I've got 3 coming up. One's a birthday, one's for Mother's Day. The UK Mother's Day is coming up next week. And one will be a sort of Easter greeting card to send to a relative. So I've got an R, a P, and an S to do. So I started this pattern, and this is also one of the new fabrics I bought as an offcut. It wasn't quite this small. I've ended up cutting it because I'm using it for multiple pieces. This is just a 27 count even weave in white. So this actually is the R. It's not the P. I stitched this one day and this is all I got, so I just did that, and then I put it down till the next day. And this was the start of the R, which is the one that needs to get in the post today. And then the Cross Stitcher May 2025 magazine came out online, and I got a little alert on my phone to say it's ready, and that was the next morning. So I had a little look in there and I was like flicking through to see what was new, and then their alphabet this month is sloths, and they're designed by Fiona Butler, and I just thought they were the most adorable thing, and to be honest, so much better for the person I need to send the R card to, and I think she'd love a sloth much more than like a pretty little flower. So I abandoned the R stitch, the springtime stitch. It just got completely abandoned, and I picked up and started to make the little sloth on the tree that is on the R card. So I started this week. I pushed through and I also finished it, and then I did a fully finish on it as well. So it's in, just got some backing paper from the craft shop and a little card, and I've put it on there. So this is not the called for floss. I just use what I have in my stash, and also I feel like when it comes to back stitching, I'm always going to go rogue. The pattern underneath for the crosses is full cross, and I decided that I was going to do fractional stitches to follow where the back stitch went, because I'm just not, for my style, I'm not a big fan of the kind of colours sticking out behind the black outline. So yeah, I added the fractionals in, and then when it came to the back stitching, I mostly followed the pattern, but I also kind of added in some of my own kind of designs. I think the sloth is absolutely adorable, and I kind of don't want to send him away. I will, obviously, he's a present for someone, but maybe I'll stitch some more of them at some point, because I think they are just such a cute little design. Okay, so luckily I had only stitched this tiny bit of the first one, and I think I'm just going to turn this into the P that I need to. So the P and the R are not the same design. The P would be slightly different, but I think I'll finish this one off and it can be the P. The other one that I wanted to do out of this design of the Heralds of Spring was an S, but I don't know if anyone else finds this, but I find that S's in alphabets often don't look as neat and tidy as the ones with straight edges. So I'm undecided at the moment whether I do the S from that alphabet or do I find something different, or if I abandon the S completely and just look for something, you know, something else to give that person for a card, or maybe make a bookmark or something like that. So yeah, we will see. All right, next we will go through my Kingfisher whip, and then I have got a couple more starts to show you. In my endeavour to keep costs down, I do not have any project bags, but I am keeping some of my things in. This is a cushion cover that I got for £1 from the charity shop, and I washed it. It's keeping my project clean, and I think that it's I love that people have project bags. I just, you know, don't have the budget to buy them right now, and so I thought, well, what is like a project bag? A cushion cover. So that's what I'm using. So this is where I was last time you saw this, and I'll show you where I'm up to now. I am absolutely loving this project. This is probably my main focus right now. I have this earmarked for a present for someone whose birthday is the beginning of June. So the plan is it needs to get finished by mid to end of May, before so that I can get it framed or frame it or finish it off in some way, and then get it on off for that person's birthday. I'm really loving the pattern. I think it's really, really beautiful. The bright colours, it's just, yeah, I knew as soon as I saw it that I wanted to stitch it. It's called Kingfisher Frame by Carol Thornton. It's from the World of CrossStitching magazine, April 25. So it's quite a new design. This week I've been stitching the bottom of the bird and then a lot of the branch that he's sitting on. So yeah, making progress. I'm really happy with it. I will say I'm finding where there's a lot of different colours in together that my stitching is not as neat. So this section down here, because I can sort of go up and down in lines, I'm finding it easier to keep the stitching neat. Whereas here, where there's lots of different colours kind of intermingling, when I come to do the last colour and it's already surrounded by other stitches, I am finding that a little bit harder to kind of keep neat. But you know, I'm learning. We'll get there in time, and honestly I don't think you can tell when it's going to be on the wall like this. No one's going to be looking really closely at the bits that the happy accidents. I had to frog a lot of this as well at the start of the week. I'd done something wrong and I had to take a lot of it out, but I have fixed it now and I'm happy with the progress. This is Zweigart 32 count even weave in light blue. So new starts, more new starts. I found this pattern in the CrossStitch's Favourites magazine. It's the card issue. I'll pop down below the year as well. It's called Happy Homes by Poppy Benner. I loved this, and I think when I started cross-stitching, you know, a couple of months ago, and really all of my other projects, I like to have an idea of what I'm going to do. You know, what am I gonna do with the piece after I finish, and I think sometimes that's a good idea, but I was watching Laura's channel, Stitching by the Shore, and she makes these absolutely beautiful scrapbooking pages and puts them in albums to show off her stitching. What she was saying last week was that it frees her up to stitch on what she wants to stitch on, rather than thinking, well, where in the house is it going to go to, or who am I going to gift it to? And I really loved that. I think sometimes it's just fun to stitch something that makes you happy. So I'm trying to free myself up a little bit, not to think that everything has to have a purpose. I can just enjoy the process and enjoy, stitching, you know, something that makes me happy. So I saw this design and the bright colours, I absolutely love it. This is some of the flosses for the design. So I did buy all the called for this because my stash is not that big yet. So I didn't have any of the threads apart from the black and the white. This is some of the colours. There's also some greens and browns for the things, but I think they're really happy colours. The orange alarmed me a little bit when I bought it. That is extremely bright, and I'm not sure I would have chosen it, but I think it'll work in the pattern. Yeah, so it's you know, really happy project. So I'm going to stitch them rather than cards. I'm going to take 4 of my favorites. There's 7 designs, but I'm going to take 4 of my favorites and I'm going to stitch 4 of them in a row and make a kind of long, thin picture. So I bought 4 pieces of offcut from my craft store. They were all in the even weave and linen basket, and then I bought this one because it was a long thin piece of fabric. So it was long and thin, and I thought, well, if I'm doing long and thin designs on it, that'll be perfect. And then I got it home and realised this is not even weave, this is Ada, and this is a 22 count Ada, which I'm not sure I would have chosen to go that small that quickly. But do you know what? It's fine, it's good fun, and it's turning out extremely cute. I'm really happy actually with the size that it is. I did also really enjoy that I started with the little houses in the middle, and I really enjoyed that for a while. The piece just said ah, that made me smile a lot. So I'm stitching this on 22 count white Ada, and I'm using 1 thread of the called for DMC threads. I did start with 2 as a bit of a trial, but it was way too chunky and thick, and I think the coverage with 1 is going to be enough. So I'm really happy with it so far. I think it's going to be really dinky. So this is the width that it'll be, and they are squares. I think it's about 38 by 38 stitches each square, and I'm going to do 4 of the designs. Yeah, so I made a good start on that, and very happy with the progress. This is my kind of happy stitch, but I do have to strain my eyes a bit, so I can only work on it a little bit of a time. And then I am continuing on with my many magnet makes. If you were here for Flosstube 1, you know I'm attempting to cover an entire radiator with them to kind of have something fun and happy to look at in my bedroom. I have done the finish from Flosstube 1's Wheel of Magnet Mayhem, so that will be coming up shortly, and also means that we will spin the wheel again to decide what the next one is. But before I show you that, I have started another little one. So this is Woodland Friends by Jane Schofield, and it's on the gather.how website as a little free pattern. It's actually under their section for kids, but there's no reason why adults can't stitch it too. And I just thought it was fun, and so I've started a magnet of the little owl stitch. So far, if I do that, you can see. So far, I've just got the top of the owl and half an eye, but he'll be a cute little owl when he's ready. The Gathered website they are the people that do they publish the magazine World of Cross-Stitching and some of the other crafty magazines. So they have a website that's sort of all of those things, and they do list some free patterns on there. Again, it will be linked down below. And I think probably a lot of the patterns that are on there have also been in the magazine at some point, but they're quite good to look for if you're looking for something small and free for a little project. So I'm using different colours. The original colours are sort of a blue, a green, and a pink. I just pulled what I thought was pretty from stash, and that's the progress so far. So that'll be finished in the same way my other magnets are. So they're all stitched on a 14 count Zweigart twist canvas, and I use 4 threads of DMC to kind of get the coverage. And then I will finish them with a little magnet. So we will be moving on to the Wheel of Magnet Mayhem in just a second, but Firstly, I will show you last week's make. So last week we spun my Krasowski, and then I put the pattern down in the comments. So this week we were following just a piece of pixel art. So when I when I spin the wheel, I'll always, if I can, tell you where the pattern's coming from. So if you want to stitch along, you are more than welcome. So my Krasowski is finished. I wasn't super sure about the black outline when I started stitching it. I don't think that the small designs always need a black outline. But actually, I kind of really love it, particularly with the darker green. It gives some really good shading on it. And he's so happy. He's like giving me a thumbs up. Yeah, really happy with how he came out. Again, he's the same as the previous one. He stitched on that 14 count canvas, 4 threads, and then finished off with the little magnet at the back. So he's being added to the collection. I put him on the list because I'd found this really great piece of pixel art, not necessarily because I really like Monsters Inc. But I'm happy with him. I think he's fun, and I would recommend the pixel art to follow if anyone else is looking for a fun stitch. So we're moving on to spin the wheel again for Wheel of Magnet Mayhem to see what we will be stitching next coming up. So a variety on here. We've got some more pushins. We've got some little animals. We've got some characters. I won't go through them all again. I went through them all last week, so you can watch Flosstube 1 if you're interested with everything that's on the wheel. Let's give it a spin and see what we get today. Looks like a pizza pusheen. So this is also a piece of pixel art, so I will link it down below if you want to stitch along. So if you haven't seen last week's my finish and whip parade from last week, I was bought a pusheen kit which had 3 different designs in. 2 were sort of pusheen eating donuts, and 1 is a sort of classic pusheen. I've done 2 of the designs. 1 more is on the wheel for when it's when it comes up, but I also found a similar design on the internet of pixel art of a pusheen eating a slice of pizza. So I will pop the design down below. That will be the next magnet coming along, and if you want to stitch it with me, you're more than welcome to. Okay, so plans. Last week I didn't talk about plans, but today I have got some plans of what I will be starting. So, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, the Kingfisher Frame piece is my main focus at the moment. So I've got a time limit of trying to get that finished by June. If it doesn't happen, then it can go to Christmas. It's not a problem, but I would love to push on and finish it. And I think it's a beautiful design. I'm really excited about it. So hopefully I can get that done. But I found the other day I had some book voucher tokens that someone had kindly given me that I hadn't spent, and so I did treat myself to 2 new books. So the first one is I picked up the Max Pigeon Cross-Stitch in the Forest book. So I know Jason CrossStitches had done one of these, has this book, and had showed off in his finish and first Flosstube finish and whip parade. Absolutely beautiful design from there. He'd done it in gradations of red, and it made me think I just absolutely have to have this book. So I've ordered that. That is in the post on the way to me. And then the other one I've ordered is one of the Emma Congdon books. So I had this one from the library. This is Emma Congdon. I absolutely love Emma Congdon's. She does beautiful designs just kind of in general. I really love her kind of typography, and the graphic design on the words are just wonderful. So I've got this one from the library, but none of the sayings in this one have really kind of grabbed me enough to want to start to stitch them. You know, they are pretty big designs, so it's a bit of an undertaking, but I have also ordered her Cross Stitch for the Earth book. So that one has, you know, some pieces with words, but also a lot of nature. I suspect something that will come up again and again in my stitching is animals and nature. Those are the designs that I'm really drawn to. So I'm really excited to get that book, and maybe we will start something from that book and start something from the Max Pigeon book as well. And then the third one that I have decided to take the dive in is my first stitch along. So I have ordered the Lola Crow Cross Stitch Extraordinary Bird Stitch Along, which starts in early April. It is a secret, so I'd have no idea what the design looks like, but I was convinced to take the plunge because I'd seen the Deadly Aquarium previous stitch along. Kat at Catkin and Lily has been stitching this, and the design is absolutely beautiful, as is Kat's stitch up of it, and I just think that it's quirky and modern and really fun. So and combining that with my love of birds, I'm sure the Extraordinary Birds will be really fun as well. Again, Jason CrossStitch is also stitching this one, and so I'm excited to kind of stitch it along with other people. It'll be my first time doing that. If you're also stitching it, then let me know in the comments. I'd love to see other people's progress. So those are the things, those two books. I will pick a project from each of those, and then we'll get the Extraordinary Birds stitch along going. So those are the plans at the moment, and finishing off the Kingfisher as well. That'll be my focus piece. So also just wanted to say a note of positivity for the day, and today's note of positivity comes from Cross Stitch with the Soul by Emma Congdon, and there is a piece in here that says every day may not be good, but there is some good in every day, and I really love that. Thank you all for joining. I really appreciate it. Thank you very, very much for all the comments on last week's video. It means such a lot. I will see you again soon.